soon to come out, right? Book three soon out.
Yes, ready. It is ready. Um, I'm only waiting on the cover. And the if you look at the first two covers, you'll see this woman does exquisite work. It's just she's had some issues and it's taken a little longer to get her work. Um, I'm hoping it should be able to be out at the latest within the next 2 weeks. Pray, because I'd like to have it available for Christmas.
Absolutely. Yes. And so the perfect Christmas gift is book one and two, right? If you want me to
Right,
pick that up for book one and two by
book
going to minavalentine.com.
book 1, 2, and 3.
Well, three, you can't pre-order yet till it's up.
No, but it's a really good book. Of course, I think all of them are, but book 3 is good, and I just love John. I think, well, I like Martin too. I think John may be my favorite, but it's because I just wrote the book. So, when I'm writing, I fall in love with those characters. I can't help myself. I wish that they were around. I'd run off with them.
Yeah, so but they're not around, those characters.
Not around.
You can't put them into real
They're
life.
up here.
Now, are there sub characters? There are definitely subplots to the two main characters in the
Yeah,
romance.
right. Yeah.
How
Um,
how do you create some of these landscapes for especially book one,
um,
the setting and all that stuff?
research. I do a lot of research, and I want to make sure that everything is as right as I can make it, as far as street names, areas of town, and it gives the reader some reference. And if they're curious readers, they may even look these up and go, "Oh yeah, I can see this." I put the names of the streets where they live, and when 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 Jonathan needs something right away in this book 3, he tells his servant, "Go to Fred's because he lives the closest." Um, and then Martin, and then Henry. So I have this little world up here in my head, and I own maps, street maps, and maps of England, and it's really fun to do. I love research. I want it to be. I want the reader to be immersed into that time period.
And it sounds like they are.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. They're buying books.
So when you think of different time periods or your time period that you wrote in, what other books or movies do you think of?
I think that, of course, it is so inappropriate for the time period, but they made the Bridgerton, I guess. Um, now, Julia Easton, I think that's her name, the one that wrote the book originally. The majority of, if there were blacks living in that time period, 99 and 44 100% of these were servants.
Right.
They didn't wear. I mean, they didn't hang in aristocratic society. It just they just wouldn't be accepted. I would imagine maybe on the far side, if there was an African or a, black man from the Caribbean that was extremely wealthy or something like that, or he was a king of some kind of country, they might accept him for one or two kinds of soirees, but he still was not an English aristocrat. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Hmm.
I know in all my books, I have Rosa, and her mother. if you refer back to book one, Amina was her mother, and Muriel's grandfather went over there to see about investing in some plantations, and he saw how cruel the people were being treated. He decided there's absolutely no way he would invest, and he was sitting on the front porch of this place where he was staying. And this little girl, this little black girl, she didn't have on any shoes. She was dirty. And he asked her questions. She'd lost her mother, and her father was taken away from her, and taken someplace else to another plantation. And she didn't really have any place to go. So she would sleep on the floor of other slave units, or she would sleep outside. And so he brought her home with him. And she got an education, but it took a lot for the grandfather to find somebody that would teach the little black girl and his white daughter.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the way it was. We may not like it at all, but you can't erase that, and I think it's wrong to do that. We learn from our mistakes, and we hope that we improve with every generation. That doesn't negate the fact that that was what was done, and it should be written about. It should be a reminder. And then in this book, I don't come out and say it, but I infer by the man's name that he's Jewish, and that that he's having difficulty finding work. And so Jonathan hires him.
Interesting.
He did not. The man did not want to go into town because there were too many problems, and that's about all he said on it. But Jonathan knew right away he was talking about being mistreated because he was Jewish.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting thing. Go to MinaValentine.com today and
Yes,
purchase the book.
and
Appreciate it, Mina.
ho ho ho.
All right. We'll talk next week. All
Okay.
right. You're listening and watching